and you were on the lifeboat. We're going old school, which is why you didn't hear any really cool music. We're going just like the old days. In fact, this one's really going to be old school because we're just I'm going at this in a way that I haven't done in a very long time. So you need to give me a little patience, and I promise you we're going to get through this. Pagan, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Let me give the old head a scratch. So it is most assuredly our day off here on the lifeboat. Ooh, really good coffee. So it's the day off on the lifeboat. However, I'm going to be coming on here. I'm here, Captain, and I'm not well. Well, I'd be more than happy to talk to you, M. Hunt, if you want to tell me what's going on. I'd be more than happy to to try to help out, and I'm sure everybody else in the comment section would be as well. If you saw today's, if you saw the subject of today's video, it's titled stress, and there's a reason for that. I got an email from somebody, and I know I'm probably gonna be I don't know. I'm not trying to break confidentiality. It's probably going to come out anyway at some point, but there is somebody on the lifeboat that reached out to me today to say that there's a really good chance that 16 years of marriage is going down the tubes today, and I can only imagine the pain of that. I was married once for about 14 years. 14 years between the time we were together and the time we were actually married. And I remember the pain. You thought you were rid of this monster. I'll be honest with you, my brother. You're never going to be rid of the monster. You're not. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill or anything of that, of that sort. But the truth of the matter is, M. Hunt, that we carry this around with us. A wise man once said that you never really get over the demons. You just sort of learn to get along with them. You learn to walk with them, sort of hand in hand. And I think that sadly is the case. The individual today that reached out to tell me that their marriage was coming to an end also told me that their life was coming to an end. And I'm sure that at this exact juncture, that's how it feels, to that person, and probably to that person's significant other as well. It is a painful thing, I'm sure, to know that after all of that time and all of that effort, that the marriage is coming to an end. I thought it important to come on here and talk about this, and I'm hoping that the person in question at least catches this, whether or not they catch it live or after the fact. I do hope that. Divorce killed me big time. A lot of me died. I'll be really honest. I've done it twice. I have lived through 2 divorces. The first was an absolute shock. It was a kick in the stomach. I didn't see it coming in any way, shape, or form. There was no way that you could have knocked me over with a feather at the idea that we would ever go our separate ways. And that one, I really, really felt it hurt. The second one I think was so much my fault that, although I may not have seen it coming, I don't think I was shocked when it happened. But the purpose is this. The purpose of me going live today is this. To say, my marriage is over and this is the end of my life. People, I'm not I'm not taking anything away from divorce. I'm not belittling or making light of something that is just an absolute, an absolute kick in the stomach to this person. And I get that. I really do. However, the thought that this is the end of that person's life is something that, I don't know, I have a problem with, because the truth is this: if you've got air in your lungs, then obviously, the day is not over. There are people listening to me right now who have lost loved ones in the last year. People who have died of drug overdoses and died of just some really awful circumstances, and yet they push on, and that is the nature of life. Marriage breakup is not the breaking up of a relationship, but the destruction of commitment. Add kids to that, and it is almost overwhelming. I have still come to terms after 20 years. And there's a lot of truth to that, Niall, and I think you probably said that about as well as could be said. It's more than the going of your separate ways. However, when the time comes that there is no other option, and I do believe that there are times when there is no other option. I'll be really honest. This person was in such bad shape that they were not really forthcoming with a lot of details, and I understand that. They were in a level of pain that made any kind of discussion a difficult thing. Hold on. Hey everybody, hey everyone, love you all. I'm out with family. Well, then enjoy yourself. Have fun with your family, Mark. No fear. Divorce made me 1,000,000 times more powerful of a human being, though. And you know what? It's M. Hunt. It's something that I'm glad you said, because I hope that this is something that that the people involved in this. And I shouldn't say the people. Only one of these, people getting divorced is a member of the lifeboat. The person's significant other is not. And that, what, M. Hunt, the fact that you're here and saying that probably is helping. Truthfully, we live in a world that deals one really ugly punch to the face after another. And we're not sugarcoating it. That is really the nature of it, isn't it? We think that we're in something for the rest of our lives, and we shove all in, and we are ready to say, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And unfortunately, about half of them don't work out that way. It's the truth. And sadly, I wish that were not the case. I wish that 99% of marriages, remained marriages, but that is simply not the case. Hold on one second. I know where you are going with this. It's all about context, and not to let emotion overwhelms. Sometimes there can be a lot of manipulation, leading to a sense of failure. It should not be that way. Sadly, I guess what I'm really driving at is this. We can't attach our happiness and our life and everything about who we are to a thing or a person or a relationship, because quite simply put, and I'm not trying to take away from anyone who is going through this currently, but I think that that's one of the causes of divorce in the first place. When we put so much stock and trade into the union that we neglect ourselves. I know that my first wife, God bless her, my first wife cared so much more about the marriage than she did about herself, that she almost let herself die. She almost drank herself to death, and the fear was overwhelming that she was somehow going to lose what we had. When we turn away from, when we turn away from anything or anyone in our lives, when we lose someone we loved and go another way, it's a grief process. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. But to And I understand the hyperbole. I understand someone saying, my life is over. I'm never going to be able to get through this. I understand that, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I really am not. It is one of those things that makes perfect sense in the moment. But the key to everything that we do here, right, at the Lifeboat, in sobriety in general, I can't beat this into to people enough. No matter how much I try, I cannot beat this enough into everybody. Nothing can come before your sobriety. Nothing. Not your significant other, not anything. If you allow something to take over, if you allow something to be so important that you attach your life to it, then you're going to relapse. And when you do, you're going to wind up miserable, fighting again to get back the footing that you had at one point. Nothing can be more important than your sobriety. And I'm going to get tons of emails from people tonight. I am a very fervent believer in God. I realize that for many people is the most important thing in the world. It's a very difficult thing to have any kind of a relationship with a higher power if you're using drugs. For me, and where I am in my life, I do not believe that anything, and I do mean anything, is more important than sobriety. And you can't attach your happiness to another person, another thing, another situation. I mean, look at the marriage ceremony itself. My God, in the Catholic tradition, it is such a pomp and ceremony. But at the end of the day, two people joined at the hip is unnatural. That's neither, there are a lot of people who probably agree with you on that, Niall, and I'm not gonna weigh in on it one way or the other, because I think that for some people it works beautifully. I'm a terrible person when it comes to trying to really take care of anyone other than myself. I don't do a very good job even of taking care of myself. I was a horrendous husband across the board. I was an absolutely horrendous husband. However, the takeaway has got to be this. I love the Lifeboat, people. This is right now one of the most important things in my life. And I have a business that means an awful lot to me. And I have a relationship that, means a great deal to me. And if I lose all three of them today, right? If all of them collapse today, it is not going to threaten my sobriety. That, to me, is what I hang my hat on. More important to me than anything else or anyone else. I'm sorry. I'm not worth a fart to anybody on this planet unless I'm sober. I'm not worth a thing if I'm using heroin or if I'm eating pills or if I'm, doing fent or any of those things. It's just the way it is. Pagan, has been married 21 years, and I think that is absolutely beautiful. I really do. My mother and father, I cannot remember the exact year. I want to say 65. If I'm wrong, I'm not wrong by much. Excuse me. And I know that Alan Ballantyne, we were speaking the other day on the phone, and he's very close. His family is very close to the same amount of time. I've been from VA to Texas 7 times. My family thinks I'm schizophrenic. I'm sorry to hear that. Truthfully, when you say you've been from Virginia to Texas, I assume you mean literally, right? Not figuratively speaking. You've been going back and forth. Barella says, I wasted 20 years of my life on a marriage, and after divorce was said and done, it would have been cheaper to keep her. I'm not trying to laugh at you, brother. The way you said that, I find funny. I really do. If I'm 100% honest, right? If I am 100% honest, my first marriage, I was in there for my son. I stayed in there because of my son. And there was a long period of time that I knew the marriage was not going anywhere. That's why it was such a shocker when the person left me, because for the longest period of time, everybody and their brother was shocked that I was sticking around. So when she decided to leave. But once again, nothing, and I do mean nothing, can be such a huge thing that's it. It's over. That's the end of the game. I'm going to do whatever. If there's anything in your life that's important, right, that the loss of it is going to make you use, then you need to really reevaluate where you're at. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. If we don't take care of self first, we are no good to anyone. It's like taking our own oxygen. Codependency is a serious issue for many. It's a wonderful topic. Thank you. And I'll tell you something. I'm not trying to put you on blast. I really am not. But you want to talk about somebody that overcame something in the last year that was just devastating? This is a person that has a handle on what it feels like to have something just yank the rug out from underneath you. But the illustration that she uses about the oxygen mask, you hear it all the time in airplanes. Make sure that oxygen mask is on your face before you try to put it on someone else's. I understand the hyperbole. I really understand the hyperbole. I understand somebody saying, I'm not going to be able to live without this person. And, this is the end of my life and this is the end of my sobriety. I get all of that. I really do. I get all of that. So that person gets a pass. Honestly, that person gets a pass. Because this is one of those days where you say things that you might not mean. Tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, the most important thing in the world is your sobriety. Nothing is more important. You're not going to be worth anything to anyone, right? You're not going to be a decent mother or father. You're not going to be a decent sister or brother. You're not going to be a decent anything. I think we can all agree that that being addicted to a substance that literally owns you is something that destroys your soul. Literally destroys your soul. Stand for Truth says, wow, I tuned in at the perfect moment. Well, I would like to believe that's the case. I hope that you hear something here that helps. People, nothing is more important. I'm sorry. And I know that it's a situation where we very often say things like, I will die if this doesn't happen, right? That would kill me, right? These are hyperbolic expressions that we use all of the time. This person said to me, though, very, very seriously, I can't possibly imagine staying sober and being single. And there is just, divorce is awful. Losing somebody that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with is horrible. There's not much in this world that could be worse. I admit that. Getting high again would be worse. Seriously, that would be worse. People, we need to evaluate what we put our stake in, what we decide is going to be the most important thing in the world to us. Niall says, I was also a terrible husband. I resented commitment and expectation. I am not the best flag waver for marriage, but I know that thinking of ending your life over this is not any way justifiable. Correct. Or ending your sobriety. People, sadly, this is something that you see in every movie, isn't it? Truthfully, every movie you see. The person loses their significant other, pulls up to the bar, orders 5 or 6 shots, and drinks themselves into a stupor. It's something that we've been watching in films for our entire life. But where it comes down to is have a really good idea what is the most important thing. What is it you value most on this planet? What is your pride? Your prized possession. What is the most important thing in your life? And if it is not your sobriety, then you're in a world of hurt. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. Lady Spellbreaker says, when I found my only child cold and blue on the floor from opiates laced with fentanyl, I went into immediate shock. I would love to take the pain away, but it is my testimony to make it through sober. My God. I would rather divorce 6 times than go through what she went through. And it is a statement to just how important sobriety is that she was able to do that. because that is the most unbelievable thing. God is close to the brokenhearted. I agree with that 100%. I absolutely do. But finding your child, finding your child blue and coping with that is, that's a pardon me, but that's a crap hitting the fan moment, right? Those are the kind of things that leave you sitting there saying, life may not ever be the same, right? But to get through that sober, honestly, if you don't have the priorities in order, and I'm not trying to bum anybody out, I'm really not. I know that I'm hurting people's feelings, and I'm sorry, but there is nothing on this planet more important than your sobriety. Nothing. It's a cliche, but as we say, they are always true. People should come into your life to add to your own self-worth, but not to create it. That is a beautiful, beautiful cliche. Honestly, Niall, it's not one I had heard, but what a fantastic thing to say. I'm going to read it again. People should come into your life to add to your own self-worth, not to create it. People, it is an amazing thing what happens when you decide that the most important thing that you are possibly going to do is take care of yourself, to be sober, to be the best husband, to be the best father, to be the best son, to be the best brother, whatever the case may be. When you say that's it, you draw a line in the sand and you say from this point forward, there isn't going to be any dope, right? There isn't going to be any drinking. This is it. From that point forward, now you can actually begin to give something. As Niall said, you want to provide something to somebody, you want to bring something to a relationship that's actually going to make this a more beautiful situation. It's not going to happen if you're using. So I know that sometimes when we do a show like this, and I feel like I'm picking on one person, but good God, it is such an important subject. It really is. It's such an important subject that we're here on our day off. There is nothing that is a justification to getting high. There isn't. There's nothing out there that says, well, it was so bad I had to. If there was, Lady Spellbreaker, I think, has it, right? She would have cornered the market on having an excuse to go do that. But there is no excuse to go do that, right? It doesn't honor the memory. It is literally the worst thing you could possibly do. It is the worst thing that you could possibly do. I'm that person you need to pick on tonight. Oddly enough, you're not. You're not, unless you're coming in under a different name. And I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'll be honest with you, people. I'm going through some changes right now, too. There are going to be some changes in my life in the very near future that are going to, it's not going to affect the lifeboat. It's not going to affect my sobriety. But there are going to be some changes that are going to come, and they're going to be growing pains, and it's not something that I ever wanted to have happen, but it's happening. And there are things that happen every single day we really wish never would have happened, right? On our hands and knees, pray that this would never happen. Like your significant other saying, you know what, there's somebody else. Yeah, it's a kick in the sternum. It really is. It's a kick in the sternum. But it's not worth drinking over. It's not worth getting high over. Hey, Pagan, thank you. I appreciate that. It's not worth getting high over, right? Nothing is worth getting high over. And that is the absolute fact. Plain and simple. There is, it has to be you. It has to be your sobriety, and everything else comes second. If that doesn't make sense to you people, then I've been doing such a crap job of running this boat. For real, I am a dog crap captain. If that does not really make a lot of sense to you, then I really suck at this. Man, that is such strong coffee. I cannot begin to tell you. It really has kick. It's going to keep me up for 3 weeks. I've been in a struggle over the same thing, Captain. You know what? We all struggle. We all struggle with these things. To have somebody say I'm gone is really, really a difficult thing. right? That's a difficult thing. Or, we're not going to be living together anymore. We're not going to be working together anymore. We're not going to be whatever the case may be. I could taste that coffee cap. M. Hunt, you really could. My mother made this coffee, and it is almost death. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a vital subject, and I wish from the bottom of my heart to help the person you spoke with clearly too. You know what, Niall? I think that what you spit out there as a cliche, I think was absolutely beautiful. Have you tried Death Wish coffee? I have. I'm a tea drinker. It helped me get sober. Awesome. Anything that helps you get sober is a beautiful thing. And I mean that. Anything that helps you get sober. I lost my child. She says, I lost my child on 9/9/2020. She just turned 22 years old. I didn't go drink or relapse on opiates or benzos to kill the pain. I didn't go get any antidepressants from the doctors. I'm feeling it all. You know what? There is absolutely nobility in suffering. There is. Whether you realize it or not. It will make you a stronger you. It will make you a better you. There are going to be all kinds of moments in the next year. There are going to be moments in the next week that are going to be that I can't get through this moment. Right? And if you really feel that you can't get through it, then you didn't listen to anything that we talk about here. Right? What you do is you reach out to the 5 people that you know you can rely on. You reach out to them and you tell them what's going on. I assure you right now, if you talk to Niall today and said, here's how I'm hurting, he is going to counsel you better than anybody with a PhD could. Well, anybody else with a PhD could. Right? Any number of people on this boat, if you want to talk to somebody who understands what it means to suffer, I don't think you're going to do any better than Lady Spellbreaker. I don't think that's possible. You understand what we have here? Seriously, do you understand what this is? This is everything you need to get through the moment that you can't get through. This is everything you need to get through that I can't get through this situation. Right? This is it right here. Not me. Right? You. All of you. The boat. All of the people who come here every single day and take care of one another for no other reason other than the fact that we get it. For no other reason other than the fact that we know what it feels like when you do give in. Right? And you piss your life away by drinking or doing drugs or whatever. Don't let it happen, people. Don't attach your sobriety to anything other than you. And you know what? Have a list of 5 people you're going to call. Have a list of people in place, ready to roll. Who are you going to call when the ship hits the sand? If you get home tomorrow night and your significant other says, hey, I'm leaving with the secretary, who are you going to call? If you don't know exactly right now who you're going to call, then you're going to fail. Sorry, that's the truth. You got to have a plan, and that plan's got to be in place before the ship hits the sand, so to speak. So I realized that in a lot of ways, this was for an audience of 1. And I'm not picking on that person. I love that person. I really do. Sobriety has to be essential in any situation. It is not. If it is not, then everything goes to hell very quickly. That is what is meant by the selfishness of sobriety. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know what? Niall, reach out to me because I would love to do a show together where you and I talk about this, because your insights on this, I think, are absolutely beautiful. People, this is a short one, and I absolutely the ship hits the sand. I apologize that this is a short one, people. It wasn't supposed to be a video at all, but I had to come here and I had to say this. You are picking on me. I promise you I'm not, Highland Girl. I'm not picking on you. I love every one of you. If you feel like I'm picking on you, just know that I love you. But nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important than your sobriety. No amount of anything, right, can take that away. No amount of anything justifies you grabbing a drink. Well, it was so hard I had to do... No. You understand? No. The holidays suck, right? We got through those. There are a lot of tough things. And you know what? They're never going to stop, people. They're not. This is the nature of what we chose. This is the path, right, that we got to walk for the rest of our lives. There are going to be days that are just beautiful and you feel like the sun is shining on your face. And then there are going to be days where it feels like the sun is never going to come back out. And on those days, you call one of your 5 or 2 of your 5 or 3 of your 5. But you reach out and you talk to people who want to help you because they've been there, right? Real love. That's what that is. Alrighty, people. We will be back tomorrow night. I promise. And honestly, I wish I had time to stay here for an hour and a half. Unfortunately, I do not. I popped on here really quickly because I thought this was a subject that needs to be discussed. We may visit it again tomorrow night. But hey, I love you too, M. Hunt. All of you, man. I really do. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love you people. I would not be here. And I promise you, no matter what situation is coming, there isn't one that justifies giving up this beautiful thing that you've got. You understand? Please. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. On the other side of the glass, Mark is with his family where he should be. All right? That is a cat in a basket, and we will be back tomorrow night. And she'll be here too, won't you? Come on. Give him a hello. Give him a hello. There you go. That cute kitty. Good night, everybody. I love you. Put your sobriety first. You'll never regret it.